At this point in the game, Penelope bourbon shouldn't be news to anybody. As long as you've had your finger even remotely on the pulse of the whiskey scene these past couple of years, you should have heard about them, or, I mean, unless you're doing something really, really wrong, you probably should have had some of their products. Maybe you heard about them being bought by MGP back in 2023, giving them access to all these wild stores of aged whiskey, light whiskey, all these crazy finishing barrels. Maybe you followed the hype and you jumped on the bandwagon, got yourself some Penelope Rio because nobody else had finished a whiskey in Amburana and honey before. Maybe you were lucky enough to grab this year's release, the Havana, or the 8-year Takai cask, or the light whiskeys, maybe even some of the estate bottles. Well, there is a newer release from Penelope that a world-renowned whiskey expert has called one of the best whiskeys ever made. Is that true? I'm thinking we're going to find out. Let's roll that intro. Welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. Today we are looking at a bottle that, I was lucky enough to grab it at MSRP. It's a little bit on the allocated side, but it's not crazy. I have seen it at retail a couple different times, so I am glad to have found it. Now, the bottle that I'm talking about specifically is the Penelope Estate, but this is the 10-year-old single barrel. Now, this is the bottle that Dan Shook said was one of the best whiskeys ever made.
Single barrel, basically.
One of the best whiskeys that's ever come out in history.
Now, there are two types of the 10-year single barrel, okay? There's one that's a 21% rye and a 36% rye. Now, according to, world's top whiskey taster, former winner Dan Shook from the Bourbon Junkies, the 36% is the one that is really, really good. And as luck would have it, I went over to the shelf, checked the one I have, and yep, 60% corn, 4% malted barley, and 36% rye. And this is from the 5th floor of the Rick House. So a pretty high floor. Fill date was December of 2013. So this one is probably over 10 years old, but it is 105 proof. Again, it's a single barrel. Now, the 9-year estate bottling, which is kind of the sister bottle to this, I do have that one as well, but I haven't cracked it. That one is not a single barrel. It's just a small batch, okay? According to the Penelope Bourbon website, this comes from the finest aged stocks that MGP had to offer. They were just barrels that were too good to blend. Now, if you know anything about Penelope, they were started back in 2018 by a pair of guys out of Jersey, and they started kind of blending up their own whiskey. And due to a unique distribution loophole, once they got everything filed, like they weren't making stuff in a garbage can in their garage, guys, but they were able to throw some cases in the back of their car and go from liquor store to liquor store and selling to them. And then they got enough attention, enough steam. They were picking up some interest on the internet. And in 2023, MGP purchased them. And since then, it has just been kind of a gravy train on biscuit wheels, it seems like. They went from a 13 to a 15 to now a 17-year American light whiskey. You got the Havana that is finished in rum and maple syrup casks, which is just fantastic. A little bit lower on the proof side, but it doesn't drink like it. It's still very viscous, still coats very, very well. And then you've got obviously the Rio, which is the honey and Amburana finish that took the market by storm a couple of years ago and kind of, in my opinion, was one of the first dominoes to really fall on the Amburana market. Now you got everybody. Grand Traverse Distillery's doing it. RD1 is doing it. I mean, all kinds of distilleries. I can't even think of how many of them there are. There's quite a few. But Amburana finishing is now kind of getting a little bit overdone. For my personal opinion, I think the Bourbon Junkies, one of their, I think it was a Night Stalker. Nope, Spirit Walker. Spirit Walker Batch 2 was finished in honey and Amburana. I think it was just a little bit better. But anyways, yeah, this is a great company, newer, younger company, but roots here in the US. They are sold all throughout the US for the most part, and like 2-3 other countries, what have you. But anyways, we're going to see if this is as good as people are claiming it to be, because the 10 years seem to be flying out the door. There's also like an 11 year, I think, but I think that's a wheat whiskey. I'm not sure. That's part of their founders collection, but we got our glass here. We are going to break into this and give it a taste. It has been open for about a week now, and I remember enjoying it thoroughly. I know there was a couple people on the internet that were saying that this was like BTAC level. I don't know if it's quite that good. At 105 proof, I'm not sure that anything is going to be BTAC level good, but hey, at 10, 11 years old, it's certainly possible, and I'm down to find out. So cheers. Whew. So this is my first drink of the day. Immediately though, cake frosting and oak. There's like a fruity note here. There's a, oh man, like a fresh strawberry. I don't like fresh strawberries with almost like a caramel syrup on the side. I don't know. It's very complex. I could sit here picking this apart forever, but I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, the color of this is quite good. It's a very dark bronze color. You can tell it spent a lot of time in a barrel because it is extremely viscous. Very, very oily, which is great because that means it's going to coat my palate really well. So go ahead and swirl, swirl, swirl. Get that going. Make sure it's all nice and oxidized, real nice and deep like. And we'll get in there. All right. Okay. Oak and red fruit. Vanilla. I can't put my finger on what that is. There's some type of like a raspberry candy that's kind of, you know what it almost tastes like? If anybody's ever been to a Cracker Barrel, they get those little dusted hard candies, the red ones. Once all that dusting is gone, all the sour dusting, you're left with just this cherry, strawberry-ish kind of red candy. A hint of that is what I'm picking up. But then once you get to the back of the palate, right? Caramel, vanilla, oak, classical notes, but it coats super well. And then once it's all gone, you're left with this odd, like cinnamon brown sugar just whiff that's in your mouth. Like it's just very aloof, but it's not like in your face. Yeah, the front palate, fruity, oaky. The back palate, sweet, vanilla, a little caramel. And then on the finish, which just hangs around for absolutely forever, guys. Some sweet spices, cinnamon, brown sugar mostly. I had a little, I don't know if that's like a powdered sugar note or what the hell that is. That is really good though. It's sitting in the glass for a minute here. It's starting to open up really, really well. No ethanol, no youthiness, no harsh notes. This is just very, very velvety. I don't like to use the word smooth. There's a million other adjectives out there other than smooth, but it really is. It's good. There's nothing obtrusive about this. It just all works very well together. All the pieces come together the right way. There's some good complexity to this. And it's very crushable. It is very crushable. For a 36% rye, This does not drink super rye heavy. The only place I'm getting any rye is on the sides of the palate, right? I'm getting just like a hint of that rye bread note, but that's it. It doesn't hang around super long. This is really, really well crafted, well put together. Whoever grabbed this barrel for the single barrel program, like, cheers to you, man. That's good work. This is good stuff. So if I had to assign a score to this, man, one of the best whiskeys ever made. I don't know. It's damn good. I'll give you that. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say like an 8.3. I think an 8.3, maybe 8.4, maybe. It's my first drink, so I don't really know if I'm missing something, but it's complex enough to keep me coming back. And it's tasty. And the price. We didn't talk about the price at all. These things are like $90. So under $100 you're getting this, which is a crazy deal. Absolutely insane. For $90 you're getting it's a 10-year age statement, but I mean, this one here says it was, fill date December 20th, 2013. So that means if this just came out at the tail end of 2024, guys, that's like almost 11 years old. I'm okay with that. I really like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go 8.4. Let's give it the 8.4. I think it's great. I love the bottle. I love the estate collection. Will say the strap on the bottom here is a little bit crooked. Not a huge deal, just something I noticed. But it's good. If I find another 10-year bottle that's the 36% rye, I'm gonna be buying a backup. Believe that. But yeah, thank you all so much for checking out the video. Please leave me a comment down below. Say hi. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell notification right there if you wouldn't mind. So every time I drop new content, you're one of the first people to find out about it. We are on our way to 500 subscribers. I am really, really hoping to get there by next month. I think we're like 50-ish subscribers away. I'd love to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. That is my goal, is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. I think it's definitely attainable. I know it's kind of a rough road to get there, but definitely doable. The Patreon is still happening, just waiting for that to kind of matriculate and kind of materialize once I get around to it. But otherwise, guys, I will see you next time. Cheers.